Welcome to Warblog. Today we're going to look at a game, but before we get to the game, I just want to sort of point out that I've had a bit of excitement regarding making the games. I've made 11 games today. As you can see, there's a lot of coming soon. The game we're going to play is the top one here, but I just want to sort of quickly go through some of these just to show that they're not actually, all rubbishy maps. I mean, I've done all the maps, so they're all sort of, it's not as though I've got what I quite often have, a whole bunch of that's done, a whole bunch of sort of blank canvases. They're all ready to go, and I'm actually quite excited to get through these, and I want to get through them quite quickly. If you've been following Warblog for sort of any particular amount of time, you might have sort of picked up on the fact that is this one? Yeah, that's what we looked at. You might have picked up on the fact that that's going to be an interesting one. It's probably one of the simplest ones. That I might only do one game a week. So to do 11 games in one day, or at least to get them started in one day, is quite exceptional, really. Although a lot of them are from the Yemen Civil War, mainly because they all came on the same South Front article. I just, went through and used that. So, as you can see, they're all sort of generally in good order. And I finished off with a Greek Civil War scenario, and this took the longest actually, because I sort of wanted a high caliber scenario in with everything else. I need to finish the road there and a few other bits. But anyway, so that's that. I just wanted to sort of take a moment to sort of just reflect on the fact that we probably won't ever see 10 coming soon, and this was one of them as well. And this wasn't something that was done before. This is the first one I did, the Fakhir and Shakhab scenario. I mean, I could have done this. So this is, I've already done a video for that. So this computer's a bit slow actually. I don't know why. Wi-Fi seems okay. So Fakhir and Shakhab. So what's going on here? Well, let's jump into play mode. Essentially, they're going for Fakhir and Shakhab, and they're coming this way and this way, and they're heading for whatever's under there, Qataba, which is their sort of stronghold. Now, a lot of the scenario is actually very similar to this. It's sort of like in Dal, and that intrigued me really because I did a Dal scenario recently, and all of a sudden Dal seems to be quite popular. But what I'm getting to is they don't really get to Dal, so it's not an objective. This is the road to Dal. These are sort of villages, and you could maybe think that they're probably quite easy to take out. I've not looked really at the game balance, so that might become a little more apparent as we play. But the current sort of front line, as you can see, is actually like that, and then they're going to push it to something like this. So that's that. Now, I've sort of anticipated these units as sort of just a holding force along here, and these units as a sort of holding force, because otherwise they'd be empty. But the main block is coming from here down and here across. Now, I think it's going to be quite easy, to be quite honest, but I've deliberately kept it light on the number of units, mainly because I sort of wanted to reflect what I consider to be the game balance, and that is in particular the fact that I think they're probably making ground along here because there isn't much in defence. Similarly here. Now these units will probably fall back. For example, you might be able to sort of redeploy these across here and these across here. You might be able to sort of essentially determine a proper and functional front line across these two areas. But as it stands, it's quite tight. I mean, here we've got two 1-1s against, you know, these massive stacks. Here we've got two 1-1s against these stacks. So they should push these back quite easily. Now the question is, as they fall back, will they be able to group with these? Will they be able to regroup with these? I mean, for example, when they're positioned there, they could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units there. And when these fall back, they could be 1, 2, 3, 4 units there. And that's not include, well, if we include these, that would be 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'd have 6 there and 7 there, and it will start to be a little more balanced, although they're still not that great. But they do have air power. Now again, I've kept the air power deliberately low. You get some UAE helicopter support, but the Saudi air power, I think they get 2 flights for 5 turns each, split by a few turn delay. So they sort of come on turn 3 for 5 turns, and they come on turn 10 for 5 turns, something like that. So it's not overwhelming, but they do have some some Saudi mechanized units which should be fairly tough, especially if they stay together. The insurgents will have a difficult time against anything stacked. So what I'm saying is, it's a bit of a, I've kept the units low to give it that sort of unbalanced unpredictability. And when I say unbalanced unpredictability, that's bearing in mind I've not played it. It might become a little more apparent when I play that what the game balance is. I mean, if I get stuck on this first unit, well, that's something else. But I anticipate we'll be pushing back quite quickly. So let's just sort of have a look then. So we sort of know the routes. There's nothing else along here. So we've got these 2 units here dug in a village, which will give them 10% extra. So that'd be sort of 2.2 times entrenched, I think is doubled, so that'll be 4.4. So it might not be the easiest thing in the world. Let's see what we've got here. These are foot units. So if I do this, now that's an army base, so we've got some air defence, so let's put that in there. Let's leave the artillery there for the time being. Should have really sort of done that the other way really, but what can we do with this? Okay, let's use the artillery. No effect. Let's now send these units in. 5-1, so that was a DR, which is pretty good. They should be on 2s. No, they got artillery assaults as well, so they're a little higher. Okay. Well, we're a bit stumped on that road, so let's just move them forward so we can move 2 hexes. Let's try something here. I have midges, and they keep wanting to eat me. But I'm not very good at getting them with my fly swap. 1 minute. Okay. Now this could be a bit of an impasse. Yeah. But maybe if we go 2 against 1, we can dislodge them out of these hills. DR. So what have we got there? 1, 2, 3s. I think that's 5 of them there. That's totally illegal stacking. By my standards, probably just press the duplicate button 1 too many times. It's a formidable stack. Could probably do as much damage as we need with this stack. And follow him with the second one. Yep, DE. Yeah. Well, we're 1 unit short of a picnic. And they've both gone. I still need to fix that. I'm going to have to look into that. That eliminated. Okay. So we're pushing them back very easily and also eliminating them. I'm going to remove one of these. Too many. Okay. So what can they do? Oh. Probably shouldn't have been there anyway. Kind of as I predicted, really. Let's send one of these guys up there. I don't know whether it's going to come out, but I've got a fly swan and keep waving it around. Okay. I wonder why he was able to move 2, but he can only move 1. Why was that? I wonder that. I don't like it when I can just not go around the roads. I prefer, I do want to sort of modify the movement so that it's better to follow the roads. Because otherwise it makes them a bit pointless. Especially when they go through hills. And I know, because they've been given movement 4. Look, you can see 4. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. I think it's quite an interesting setup. But what I want to do is, I want to, whilst it's in my mind, I want to get to the bottom of that eliminated problem, because whenever a unit gets eliminated, and I can't remember why it happened, but I think it's got something to do with morale, it eliminates both in the stack. And I might watch this video, but I've got to process it first. It's only 18 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed that, and it makes you feel like playing. And I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.